I got like 5 minutes before my shift today, but let's talk Star Wars for a second. Okay, so last week the trailer for The Last Jedi dropped, and I am incredibly excited for this movie. Anybody who knows me knows I've been a huge Star Wars fan my whole life. Return of the Jedi, I have... Oh fuck, why did I choose to do this? Now I'm committed to this. Return of the Jedi, I have this poster here. It's not really a poster, it's like a, you know, like a kind of like a painting, but not really, because this is print. Anyway, Return of the Jedi is my Star Wars. It's the one that I liked the most when I was a kid. It's the first Star Wars movie I actually saw, and it was love at first sight. I've been a huge Star Wars fan ever since. And you know what? I'll admit it right now. Return of the Jedi is objectively the worst movie of the original trilogy. You don't have to say it. I know, okay? But it's the one I saw first, so I had Super Star Wars Return of the Jedi on my Super Nintendo as a kid, and of course it's my favorite one. So I'm not sure about you guys, but in retrospect, when I watch The Force Awakens now, the fact that it so closely mirrors the plot of A New Hope bothers me way more than it did when I first saw it. When I saw people saying this back in the day, this was like 2 years ago, I thought people were just being nitpicky. It was a great film, I had a lot of fun, it was very Star Wars, it felt very authentic in a way that I would even say the prequels didn't. So I didn't get that criticism when a movie first came out. Watching it now, it's available on Netflix, I think both American and Canadian. It's so much, it's beat by beat A New Hope, and it's kind of annoying. And the fact that Rey is such a Mary Sue character in that she single-handedly beats a Sith. I mean, I'm not sure. Kylo Ren is not a master, right? But he's not an apprentice either. He's been doing this, he's been sithing it up for a while. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense that Rey would defeat him, but I understand that this is necessary for the story, for the arc to be complete, for the good guy, or the good girl in this case, to beat the bad guy in the end. It has to happen, but it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Still a great movie, I still had a lot of fun, but I see the flaws now more than before. When Rian Johnson was attached to this picture, I gotta admit, I wasn't thrilled. 2012's Looper, which is basically the movie that made him famous, listen, I hate that movie so much, and because of that, I couldn't be on board. Now, the trailers for The Last Jedi have since come out, and they're looking pretty good, so I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to go see Star Wars in the theaters. Excited as always, and I'm willing to give the movie a chance, so I hope he'll do a better job here than he did with Looper. And don't even come to my comments saying that Looper was great, because I'm just gonna get mad at you. I fucking hate that movie. You have no idea how much I hate that movie. The trailer looks absolutely great. I love this theme of the red accents. We saw this when they first announced the name, The Last Jedi, and it apparently is consistent. The red accents are consistent within the artistic direction of the film. I think it makes a lot of sense thematically. Who the fuck is calling me right now? Give me a second. Hello? Hello? What the fuck is this? Where was I? The trailer looks great. I love the red accents. They're consistent. I already said that. About the name, interesting thing, right? As you guys know, I'm from Brazil. And we have, when it comes to translating Star Wars titles to Brazilian audiences, there's been some interesting choices. I've been planning a whole video on the fact that I've had this theory for many years, that there's a Brazilian in Lucasfilm just giving name suggestions that in English they sound just fine, but in Portuguese they sound funny or offensive. I don't want to go into detail, because this, like I said, I have a whole script plan for this. But we have a long history of either funny or kind of inappropriate translations that don't work really well. And here's the great example. Return of the Jedi. Oh fuck. Return of the Jedi. Right? When they translate that to Portuguese, they translate it in a way that makes it sound like Jedi is someone's name. So it doesn't really make any sense. They use the wrong preposition in Return of the Jedi. In English, where there's some ambiguity, you could be talking about a Jedi, like say Luke Skywalker, or Return of the Jedi as the Jedi Order, or Return of the Jedi as in you could be referring to Darth Vader's atonement. That's how some people interpret it. Return of the Jedi as translated in Portuguese makes no sense. It sounds like it's a guy named Jedi who's coming back. So kind of the same thing happens with The Last Jedi. In English, it's also sort of ambiguous, it's open for interpretation, whereas the Brazilian translation, they pluralize Jedi. So it's Return of the Jedi, as in there's a bunch of Jedi coming back. It doesn't line up quite right. There's some fake outs in the trailer, at least they're kind of, I'm assuming they're fake outs because otherwise they'd be giving away too much. There's a scene in the trailer where Kylo Ren is lining up a shot to explode the ship Leia is in, and I don't think they really want to give that away in a trailer, so I think that was cut to make it look like something that's not actually what happens in the film. Some people were concerned that just like J.J. Abrams did with The Force Awakens, this would too closely mirror the events of Empire Strikes Back, and the scene with the AT-ATs makes it look like that fear could be valid. I honestly don't think they're gonna do this again. They already got quite a bit of flack for basically getting the script for A New Hope and replacing characters and settings, so I doubt they're gonna screw this up again. I mean, we can't even say they screwed it up because The Force Awakens was pretty successful, so that's actually a reason to be concerned. You know how Hollywood is with things that are working, right? They don't like to change, they don't like to take chances. So. But yeah, I'm super excited. I'm going to be there opening night, of course. I'm going to see this movie multiple times in the theaters because I am a fanboy, and that's what we do. Well, what about you? Are you excited for Star Wars? Are you jaded? Have you had enough? So we're going to be getting Star Wars basically every year, forever. So if some of you are already experiencing franchise fatigue at this point, I wouldn't even be that surprised. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. But I got a jet. I have work in like now, so I'll see you guys next time. Oh yeah, by the way, I have a feeling Disney is gonna lean heavily on the Porgs. So if this turns out to be another Jar Jar Binks situation, I can't take two of those in one lifetime, okay? So fingers crossed they don't fuck this up.